All right, so color me confused because this is where the episode narrative and the beginning narrative don't line up, and we'll get into that. But welcome to Fire Force, episode 17. Let's get started on this confusing mess. So here's what I mean by it doesn't line up. So in this beginning storybook portion of the episode where Iris is telling us the biblical story or the scriptural story of Raffles and how the world came to be after this cataclysm, she talks about how Raffles used the unsullied flame to make Amaterasu, put that unsullied flame into technology and make Amaterasu. So what exactly does it mean then when later in the episode we have Vulcan talking about how his family was cursed because they helped make Amaterasu? I mean, I guess it could line up if the assembly of Amaterasu took place sooner than we thought, or maybe like his ancestors helped make Amaterasu. I'm kind of confused by that, but that's neither here nor there at the moment. I'm just kind of confused as to where the opening narrative and the actual story are kind of not lining up. But I guess we'll see what happens. Either way, we pick up where the awfulness of last episode left off, which was poor freaking Ye getting shot. He's now on the floor with Iris trying to take care of him, make sure he doesn't bleed out. We have Vulcan just laying on the ground. Lisa, I don't know what's going on in her head. Vulcan seems to think that he can save her, but I don't know. She seems pretty not great. And of course, Giovanni just still smashing that hologram thing. And a key comes out of it. The key, well, it's a USB key, but a key to Amaterasu. So that's not good. Then we get to what happened with Shinra immediately after Giovanni finds the key. So we didn't spend a lot of time with that little desolate hellhole of a workshop that it became after Giovanni showed up. So we have Shinra tied down to like a stretcher, and when he wakes up, it's all the rose petals or all the cherry blossom petals falling around him. Well, guess who came to save him? Hibana came to save him because she left a wire on Iris and heard some commotion. So she came to see what it was all about, and she even said, she's like, maybe I could just leave you as is and take you with me. I love her crush on Shinra. It's hilarious. And then, of course, she lets him go, and he goes and takes off, and she's just like, I regret my decision already. She's a great character now. I love her character now that Shinra's kind of smacked some sense into her. And now that Shinra is free, he takes that opportunity to just blow past everybody who is keeping people from getting into the workshop, blows past them, blows the door open, smashes in the beak on the plague mask of Dr. Giovanni, smashes him against the wall, and that's where the episode kicks off into the opening. Like, whew, he finally managed to land a solid hit on Giovanni after being completely just played for a fool in his first kind of run at him. So, pretty awesome. I gotta say though, seeing Giovanni having to pick himself up as slowly as he did, and also seeing the really funny animation of his nose like flopping back out, it seems like he definitely isn't the most mobile character. He might be quick when he has the time to move to where he needs to, or he might seem quick when he has the time to move to where he needs to, but it doesn't seem like he's very fast. Especially considering once Shinra came through, he had no time to stop and fight back. Like, he couldn't block him as quickly as somebody like Leonard Burns did. He took it and then got back up very slowly, and even admitted that he didn't have the advantage in close quarters combat or mobility. So he seems like a very slow character in a way. Maybe it was because of some of the modifications he did with his body, but yeah, it's interesting to see that. Meanwhile, outside, we have Arthur still fighting with the other two white-clad, but the way that the one Mirage character makes his mimic fire things is by altering the way that heat and everything moves. So it's literally a mirage. He literally makes mirages with the way the temperatures, heat rises, cold air falls, like that kind of stuff. He plays with that, and Hibana is able to show up and warm everything up and make those little changes negligible. And so the only thing left is the real guy. And she just sends the fiery cherry blossom petals everywhere, and everybody's in the line of fire, both of the White Clad and Arthur. And the only person she cares about, because she's like, gravel is gravel, except for Shinra. Again, I'm loving that little ship. I don't know if it's going to become anything, and I highly doubt it will, but I think it's funny anyway. And then immediately after this, we get to learn what Lisa's actual pyrokinetic ability is, which is that her fire is magnetically charged and can attract itself to other people using this like magnetic wave. And so that is what allows it to actually grasp onto things like Shinra and hold him while Giovanni continues to shoot him with his arm fist things. So yeah, interesting ability. And of course then with that, Vulcan tells Iris to push all the buttons on the wall. She does, and a ton of animals fall down. He's made like a ton of animal robots, all of which actually have magnetic charges and mess up whatever Lisa was doing with her pyrokinetic ability, which was pretty cool. And it also smacks Hibana in the head, and I assume knocks her out because her fire goes away and keeps Arthur from getting, overheated or burning to death. Whatever. And of course, once Lisa's flames are made useless, we have Shinra taking full advantage of this and just diving in and taking out Giovanni, or not taking him out, but kind of actually. He laid quite a few good hits on him and blasted him through the back wall of the workshop. And after this, we see Sho. And Shinra makes an Adola link with Sho, and Sho knows what it is, and Shinra doesn't still. I feel like Shinra is definitely going to learn a whole lot in these next few episodes, but yeah, we see that Sho is actually really powerful because Shinra recognizes him and starts kind of like really having this like found his lost brother moment, and it's could have been very touching, except for the fact that Sho comes down. It talks about how his feelings kind of confuse him and then takes Shinra pretty much immediately. Like, he had Shinra down and with a sword to his neck instantly. Like, no hesitation, he's fast. He's very fast. And he's fast enough that he was able to take out Arthur with no issues, except Arthur did begin to react. So whatever Sho has that makes him that fast is nuts. I'm actually kind of wondering how he's doing that, and if it's something sustainable, and if it's something that Shinra can learn, considering that it sounds like the reason why Sho can do this is because he has some kind of Adola link or Adola burst. But anyway, Sho makes quick work of them, and Dr. Giovanni opens his mouth. It's really weird and really creepy, and shows that he's got the key to Amaterasu, and then with that, they escape. Not the White Clad, but the group involved with Fire Company 8. And why did they manage to escape? Because, Fire Company 8's science officer shows up, saves them in the back of a pickup truck. And we actually do have a bit of a moment with Lisa where we, of course, have poor Vulcan trying to grasp that last little bit of, something. Everything can be fixed. He wants to try to get Lisa back on his side, make her come around, reaches for her, and the look on her face is very clearly like she does still have feelings for him. The glisten in her eyes, the way that her hair was animated to move, like all the little things that you see in anime and in animation to show characters still have feelings for one another, that's what they showed with her, but she held those feelings back and let them escape, except Sho tried to stop them, and this is where I don't know what Joker's game is at all, but he shows up and we see how powerful he can actually be. So even without any sort of Adola ability or whatever the heck that is that they keep talking about with Sho, even without that, Joker holds his own, and they have like a Dragon Ball Z style blurs hitting one another fight. And it was actually really cool to see how well they did, or how well Joker did rather, in that fight. He cracked Sho's sword and points out he's quite a monster, and Sho is impressed with Joker's ability. So I want to know more about Joker. I want to know what his end game is and why he's why he's so invested in Shinra, and why he's so fast, why he's so powerful. Like, I want to know more about what he is. Because we see that both of them didn't escape completely unharmed, at least in terms of their accessories, because Sho's sword is cracked and Joker's little face cover got cut. So both very powerful parties, both managed to lay just enough into one another that they were, something of theirs was damaged. At the end of all this, though, once it calms down, we have everybody in the hospital. Yu gets saved. Shinra points out that Arthur's cuts weren't as bad as they could have been. Always next time, I suppose. Like, I love that they just hate each other that way. But yeah, they were both, Yu and Arthur were fine and healed. And Shinra offers again, after giving his report to the fire company, to Obi, he offers again to have Vulcan come on board and join Company 8. And with this, he accepts, because at this point he has nothing else. The workshop is now dangerous, and he needs refuge, so he takes refuge with Fire Company 8, which is a very wise decision. But he's still driven. He wants to complete the goals he set out to complete, and joining Fire Company 8 would be his way of doing this until things calm down and he can go back to what he was doing. So it's kind of nice. Hibana also steps in and, of course, questions and threatens Fire Company 8's science officer, which is fun. He's such a weird guy, too. But, yeah, so that all happens, and then we get to see what happens at Fire Company 8 and see how Vulcan likes or dislikes or reacts to Fire Company 8. And because there's a guest, Hinawa cooks, which is awesome, because Hinawa cooks awesome food, and we get to see Vulcan taking it all in with how everybody at the fire company acts and all that kind of stuff. And the only thing that they don't have, of course, and Obi points out, is that Tamaki's Lucky Let Your Lure isn't kicking in, and they show like a little hint of it, which I think is funny, because she picks up the fish and the covering of the fish falls off, which is kind of funny. I like how they did sort of do a dialed back, like, hint, hint, here's what her thing does, but it's kind of funny. But after that, we have Vulcan, Arthur, and Shinra going back to the workshop for a moment, and we have Vulcan sort of talking with his dad and his grandfather about how he's joined the fire company and wondering if they would disown him, if they can hear him where they're at, if they would disown him. And he definitely has a very, very strong, he's got a strong tie to his parents, and to his father and grandfather, and they had a very strong hatred of fire companies. But it's very different now, because I think he understands, and I know we as the viewers understand, that there is a difference with what Fire Company 8's doing versus what the rest of the fire companies are doing, especially with Giovanni now being obviously a member of the White Clad. And after that, he leaves and joins up with Fire Company 8 and puts a skull on Fire Company 8's cross, which is really funny, and Iris just thinks that she's going to be seen as a blasphemer. And Obi thinks it's cool, but he also shows that he's just kind of like, sounds like an old man of just like, that's, it's more metal, like, yeah, that kind of thing. So, yeah, sure. I mean, I think it's funny, and I really can't wait to see where it goes from there. But that was the episode. Like, that was it. So, yeah, now we're on to whatever happens next. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I really liked this episode. Let me know what you guys think, if there was anything you feel like I missed in this episode. I tried to cover as much as possible. I know I always miss some things here and there, but yeah, I know not a lot of you watch it, but for those of you who do, let me know what you think. I really do want to know what you guys have to say. And apart from that, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to be there, and have a good one. Hey guys, just hopping in at the end here. Thanks for watching through the whole video. I hope you enjoyed it. I do still have merch. I've actually had it for quite a while, but not a lot of people know about it or care. And so if you guys want to support me or check it out just because it looks cool, go to the link in the description. You can see some of the designs I have, like the Steel Frodo in Steins Gate design, or even the Mob Psycho 100 design, and maybe even buy one if you like it, or don't. I cried myself to sleep at night anyway. So either way, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching again. and I'll see you in the next one.